very thankful for that. Other than that, make sure you guys check out yesterday's video. It was a double upload day, so there was a Star Wars Battlefront 2 video that was out and a rebuild of the Dallas Mavericks for 2K. So hopefully you guys watch those, and yeah, let's jump into tonight's video then. Okay, so with these jersey numbers, it's a list obviously from Bleacher Report, and this one actually came out in 2020, so pretty new, I guess. Apparently they have a set of rules, and it says here that the player who has worn the jersey has to have at least worn the jersey for 5 years. So obviously, you know, for number 45, you can't say, oh, Michael Jordan, well, because Michael Jordan only wore it for like some games, handful of games, so you can't say 45 for Michael Jordan. And then the player can only be selected for one number. So obviously, with Kobe having 8 and 24, I guess we're gonna see what number they pick. Same thing with LeBron for 6 and 23. We're gonna have to see which one they pick. So, or even if they make either one, we're gonna have to see. So it's gonna be pretty exciting. So strap in, make sure you get nice and cozy. This can be some sort of a countdown video. So it should be pretty relaxing. So starting off with numbers greater than 50, we have number 99. And at number 99, the first one, 99, we have George Mikan, a very good player. Back in the day, probably maybe the best player during his time period, I don't know. George Mikan is definitely one of the first NBA legends, that's for sure. Definitely a great guy. At 90, so they don't have 98, 97, 96, blah blah blah. They have 90. I don't know why there's that big jump. Have no other really great players worn those type of numbers, probably not. But at 90, we have Drew Gooden, who actually made. Oh, sorry, I thought it said he made an All-Star game. Sorry, it says Gooden never made an All-Star game or led the league in any category aside from time spent wearing number 90. So I guess he spent probably a long time wearing number 90. Makes him the best player at number 90. That's pretty funny. At 88, we have Nicholas Batum. I would agree with this for sure. Obviously, being a Portland Trailblazers fan, I've watched Nicholas Batum his entire career, and there was a point in time where Nicholas Batum was just a sniper, three-point shooter, great wing defender. He was almost like a do-it-all type player, but then he got hurt, and then he went to Charlotte, and then continued to get hurt, and then, you know, he has a huge contract. That's pretty bad, but now he's with the Clippers, which hopefully, you know, try to ring chase if he needs to get a ring, so I think he's perfectly fine. At number 88, definitely pre-injury. Nicholas Batum was a pretty great player. At 77, we have George Muresan. I think his name's just George, right? It's not like a weird pronunciation, I don't think, but we have George Muresan, who is obviously a very famous player for standing at 7'7". Here's another great player, finally. At 55, we have Dikembe Mutombo. Arguably one of the greatest defensive centers of all time. I mean, if we're talking just defense, he's one of the best at it. Obviously, blocking shots, the Mutombo finger wag. No, I said rag. Wag. Definitely a great player. Was on that really famous Denver Nuggets team that upset the Seattle Supersonics as a 8 seed to a 1 seed. Very. At 54, we have Horace Grant. Wow. Horace Grant, obviously a player, played for many great teams. Obviously most notable with Michael Jordan and the Bulls. He also played with Shaq and Penny Hardaway in the Magic days. He also played, I think, with the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq, if I'm not mistaken. He won a title with, Kobe and Shaq. He also won 3 titles with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Probably should have won one with Shaq over in Orlando, but we all know that fiasco that sort of went down in Orlando. That's pretty funny, but 54, Horace Grant. 53, we have Artis Gilmore. 52, we have Jamal Wilkes. one. They have honorable mentions now, and this honorable mention is Ralph Sampson, which would be good, but Ralph Sampson never really came to his full potential as a player. I think David Robinson definitely did, being a MVP of the league. One of the best defensive centers, again, with David Mutombo, we were just talking about. Offensively, a great player. Scored 71 or 72 points in a game before. Obviously winning, some championships down in San Antonio as well. At 49, we have Shanton Anderson. I have no idea who this is. 47. I mean, come on. If you know number 47, you know it's gotta be AK-47 himself, Andre Kirilenko. Andre Kirilenko. It's funny because this guy's always has such high praise, but I never really thought of him being that great of a player when really watching him. He's a good player for sure. Like any team in the NBA would probably be starting in the NBA, but nothing super crazy. He was an All-Star in 2003, 2004, and the NBA leader in blocked shots in 2005, 2006. He had a total of 220 that entire year, and a 3-time All-NBA defensive team member. That's pretty cool. I didn't know he was that locked down of a defender. At 45, we have Rudy Tomjanovich. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I mix this guy up all the time. At 45, not bad. Honorable mention, AC Green from the LA Lakers. That's a pretty good one as well. But this might be the most stacked one so far. At 44, we have Jerry West. And for Jerry West, at number 44, they are also Danny Ainge, Sean Bradley, Michael Cage, Derek Coleman, Pistol Pete Maravich, George the Iceman Gerving, Pistol Pete Maravich really said that, Paul Westphal. Very, very, very good players have wore number 44. Plus, I think 44 is a very cool looking number, so that makes sense that a lot of people pick it, so that's really cool. I think obviously out of all those players, Jerry West is probably the most deserving. I mean, definitely, probably next would be Iceman, George Gerving, and then maybe Pistol Pete, or maybe Pistol Pete and Iceman. Definitely one of those guys I think are probably the most deserving, but, Jerry West, the logo, 14-year career. 43, we have Jack Sigma, and honorable mention is Brad Daughtry. At 43. At 42, we have Nate Thurmond. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the first one I don't agree with. They have Nate Thurmond at number 42, but the honorable mention is James Worthy. I think I would rather put James Worthy on there than Nate Thurmond. Let's see. There's also players like Elton Brand, Jerry Stackhouse, like we said, James Worthy, Nate Thurmond, some pretty good names. I don't know, I think I would rather put James Worthy on there. I know obviously James Worthy is a great player and probably could have been a greater player. Obviously we're not playing alongside, Magic, Kareem, that entire Laker lineup. If he had his own team, James Worthy could have been probably even a better player. Averaged more points, averaged more this and that, but in my opinion, James Worthy is an all-time great. I guess they're just giving the nod to Nate Thurmond, who is still a very good player nonetheless. 41, we have Dirk Nowitzki. Honorable mention, Wes Unseld. At 40, we have Sean Kipp. Honorable mention, Bill Laimbeer. That's probably a pretty close player comparison, but if we're going on individual talent, I am definitely taking Sean Kipp for sure. Laimbeer's great. He was on great teams, had great players around him. He was a good player, but Sean Kipp by himself is an all-star, you know what I mean? So, he was a 6-time consecutive all-star and had an 8-year stretch of averaging 18.5 and 10 rebounds per game. That's pretty cool. 36. So I know there's big jumps because it says that they've had to have worn that jersey number for 5 years plus. Maybe I should have gotten a list that just had Wolves or something like that. You know what I mean? I just like I wanted some more like well-known names, so I thought this would be a little bit cooler of a list. So let me know if you wanted me to do like an actual like a countdown through the whole shebang, if that makes any sense. At 36 though, 36, we have Rasheed Wallace. Honorable mention, Marcus Smart. I guess Marcus Smart is the next player who has worn the number 36. That's definitely a very random number. We have Kevin Durant at 35. Honorable mention is Roger Brown. I've never heard of that player before, but apparently he's a Hall of Famer. That's pretty cool. I never heard of him before, but obviously, you know, Kevin Durant. He's one of the greatest scorers of all time. Multiple-time champion, if you know, those are kind of maybe fool's gold. No, I'm just taking shots. Yeah, Kevin Durant, multiple-time champion, MVP, great player, arguably on the best team right now with the Brooklyn Nets with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, yada, yada, yada. Could definitely win one this year, would be pretty interesting, but, I don't know, Kevin Durant is definitely on, he's definitely top 50 all time, maybe top 25, he's definitely in that sort of range of like, man, if he, you know, continues on for a couple more years on this sort of trend, averaging nearly 30 points per game, you know, he's definitely going to make his way up there in a lot of people's eyes, and I think also in mine too. At 34, oh my god, this one is taking the cake for maybe the best number of all time. Maybe the best number all time. Number 34, and at number 34, they have, maybe an arguable one for sure. At 34, they have Shaquille O'Neal at 34, which, if you don't know, on the honorable mentions they have Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Giannis Antetokounmpo. My god, that's crazy. At 33, oh god, wait, maybe this one is, maybe comment down below what you guys think is the best number of all time in the NBA. At 33 here, I think this one is right for sure. 33, they have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at 33, but the honorable mentions for this number are Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Scottie Pippen, and Grant Hill. Oh man, that's really sad because I wish I could name off these guys in their own sort of category, but especially Larry Bird. Larry Bird's one of my favorite players of all time for sure. He's on also my all-time lineup. Number 32, number 32, we have Magic Johnson, but again, this one's kind of up for best number of all time. They have Karl Malone, Bill Walton, Kevin McHale, Shaquille O'Neal. Yes, obviously he's already considered for 34, but he's also considered for 32 because he's that great of a player. I mean, dude, come on, like, Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time. We all know who Magic is. Like, the dude doesn't even need a name. Like, his name isn't even his name. It's Magic. Like, imagine being known for a word that's not even a part of your name. It's just Magic. Like, that is just, that's when you know you're an absolute legend of a player. Definitely, you know, if Bill Walton would have stayed healthy, who knows what could have happened with Bill Walton. He was already going down as, you know, the greatest hitter of all time when he was playing, and oh my god, you know, Bill Walton, and then he gets hurt. That was pretty sad. Kevin McHale's always been that sort of good player, but obviously, you know, with Larry Bird, probably helped him out a lot in his career. I didn't really see Kevin McHale being the best player on a team at all time during his career, but obviously with Magic Johnson, I mean, dude's top 5 all time in my opinion. Dude is on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, in my opinion. He's just a very great player, very great basketball mind and savant for sure. At 31, they have Reggie Miller. He's definitely in that consideration of, you know, if there was a shot on the line, you know, not like the whole I want Iguodala type thing, but, you know, a shot on the line, you know, the Martians have the beam set on Earth. Who do you want taking the last shot for, you know, humanity's sake? A lot of people would take Curry. A lot of people would probably take Reggie Miller over Curry. Like, Reggie Miller had that sort of cold-blooded killer, and I'm like, he would make those very tough shots, and, speaking of Steph Curry, at 30, we have Steph Curry. That's pretty funny. At 30, there's also George McGinnis and Bernard King. Man, definitely, yeah, Steph Curry. Steph Curry, you know, with another ring here or there, pace for scoring and how great he is for that Golden State Warriors team. He's already, you could probably maybe argue him being the best best point guard of all time. If you're picking like your sort of all-time lineup, you could definitely put him there at point guard because of his stretching ability, obviously with three-point shooting and things like that. Defensively, you're losing something, and also the height of Magic is something that you can also put over him. But Curry's he's already an all-time great player. Same thing with Kevin Durant, probably like definitely top 50, maybe top 25 player in the NBA already in NBA history. Changed the game. He definitely did change the game, sort of like how Shaq has, how LeBron has, how so many other great players have done before. Just an amazing great player. Steph Curry is, and he definitely deserves that. At 29, we have Paul Silas. Again, another player I don't know a whole lot of. It says here that he is a 5-time All-Defensive Team member, a 2-time All-Star, and a 3-time NBA champion. Pretty cool, At 29. At 28, we have Andrew Lang. Don't really know this player at all. 27, wow, we already have Rudy Gobert at 27. That's pretty interesting. I don't know a lot of other players who have that number 27, I guess, so kind of makes sense. Rudy Gobert is already a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Arguably could be it. Every year he's in the league, he's always a great interior defender, blocking shots, things like that, but it seems like in today's NBA to be Defensive Player of the Year, you need both. You need outside, perimeter defense, you need inside defense as well, blocking shots, things like that, so that's probably why Giannis won it last year, because he can do sort of both. It's pretty rare when like just a good perimeter player or just a good interior player wins Defensive Player of the Year. Nowadays it's usually both, because a lot of players are so good nowadays you can do both to win it, so that's pretty cool. Rudy Gobert 27, 26, we have Kyle Korver. Wow, Kyle Korver, interesting. Yeah, again, when I think of players and player numbers, like I'm bad with like correlating those two things together. Like if you gave me like a random number like 25, I probably couldn't even name a player right now off the top of my head with the player number 25. Like I'm not like that, but if I saw like the face of a guy or I read their name first and say, oh yeah, that's their number, like I'm more sort of that way. But bro, like even like number like 21, like I have no idea a player named the number 21, so I guess we'll have to find out. But yeah, Kyle Korver 26, that's pretty cool. One of the best three-point shooters of all time. Oh, that's probably why. At 25, they have Chet Walker. At I guess best at this number, honorable mention is Gail Goodrich, which is a player I've known before. No idea he wore number 25 though, so. Okay guys, at number 24, it's Rick Barry. It's Rick Barry for number 24, yes. I know, Kobe Bryant. My favorite Kobe Bryant is number 24 Kobe Bryant, so I'm a little bit mad about this, but Kobe Bryant also wore number 8. I cross my fingers and pray that he is on that one, but 24, they got Rick Barry. They also have Sam Jones, Bobby Jones, and Kobe Bryant as the sort of runner-ups and honorable mentions. Okay guys, you guys ready for this? At number 23, yes, the almighty 23, which have been worn by a lot of players nowadays, especially after a certain player has worn that number and made it completely famous throughout the universe. Number 23, we have Michael Jordan. It's not LeBron, it's Michael Jordan at 23. Yes, LeBron has another number, so we'll see if he makes that one, but at 23, Michael Jordan, the GOAT, Air Jordan himself, obviously very much deserving of this. He was the guy who made the number what it is today. Yeah, the number you can even just say, like that's super cool. Like with Magic, mentions Kevin Garnett and Dominique Wilkins. Obviously, with Tim Duncan getting over on Kevin Garnett, obviously Tim Duncan is already known as the GOAT center power forward of all time. So, kind of makes sense that they have him over on this list as well. At number 20, we have Payton. Yes, Gary Payton over the runner-up Manu Ginobili. That one I do agree with. Gary Payton, arguably the greatest perimeter defender of all time. You can throw out, Michael Jordan or other players like that, but Gary Payton, they don't call him the glove for nothing because he was so snug and tightly defended. He fit like a glove, so that's pretty crazy. At number 19, we have Willis Reed. That's a good one, really good one actually. He brought the Knicks a title, right? The Knicks a title. Willis Reed, yeah. Let's see, he won MVP in 1969, 1970, and famously played in Game 7 of the NBA Finals with a torn thigh muscle. Oh gosh, that would really suck. At 18, we have Dave Cowans. If you don't know that, you probably know him from 2K. He's always having a good card in 2K every year, but because he is actually an MVP of the league. He is an 8-time All-Star as well, averaged 17 points, 13 rebounds as well. Just a great player. MVP of the league 2 years after his first year in the NBA, so that's pretty amazing. 17, we have John Havlicek over Chris Mullin. That's a good name as well. 13-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA team member, 8-time champion, and absolutely crazy. We have, Hondo, Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Kevin Garnett / Paul Pierce, great legends in the Celtic uniforms now with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who look like a duo who can dominate the NBA in the next couple years. At 16, we have Pau Gasol. That's definitely a good one. Is he an underrated player? I'm not entirely sure if he's an underrated player, but he is a very good player, very good defensive player. Would you rather have like prime Pau Gasol or prime Marc Gasol? That's a great question in itself. I'll let you guys answer that. This one's actually kind of interesting. They have here at number 15 Vince Carter, but they have Earl Monroe ranked under him. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, Vince Carter is good, and I was just talking about him in one of my last videos. Prime Vince Carter, like New Jersey Nets Vince Carter, is an amazing player. But I know Earl Monroe was also a very good player, so that's a very controversial one in itself. But I love me some Vince Carter. 14, Oscar Robertson, the Big O, league MVP, 11-time All-NBA team member, 12-time All-Star. I mean, again, people name him as being one of the GOATs in himself. People talk about the Mount Rushmore of NBA basketball. Some players put him up there, so he's definitely a great player, one of the more revolutionary type players alongside him. Kareem, Bill Russell, like the triple-double was his thing first before, Russell Westbrook and now Luka, now a lot of other great players do it every year, so. 13, we have Wilt Chamberlain. Don't need to go into much detail about that. Honorable mentions, though, Steve Nash and James Harden, so some great players, for sure, getting into that one. 12, we have John Stockton over Dwight Howard. Ooh, man. I mean, if we're talking like career-wise, I mean, yes, obviously John Stockton, leader in, entire like NBA history, leader in assist, and that will never be broken. I will go down to my grave saying that, dude, John Stockton's assist record is never gonna get broken. Great perimeter defender, really good three-point shooter, a great teammate. Like I would love to have John Stockton on one of my teams if I ever was like a GM, fantasy GM. But if we're talking about just singularity player, like all time, like bro, Dwight Howard in his prime, that's an all-time player. Like prime Dwight Howard was almost unstoppable, but injuries and things like that, it's pretty tough. But man, obviously if we're talking career-wise, you gotta go with John Stockton. At 11, we Bucks legend. I know that from playing a lot of 2K. Definitely Bob Pettit, earning an MVP in 1955, 1956, and he was also the first ever NBA MVP in 1958, 1959. That is really cool, actually. He and Will Chamberlain are the only players to average better than 25 and 15, respectively. So that's pretty cool. Number 8, we have here Kobe Bryant. Obviously, yes, Kobe Bryant finally getting the number 8 that he deserves. It makes sense because the other runner-ups are like Darren Williams and players like that. So I think he definitely deserves that number 8 nod. He definitely, arguably, he is the best number 24 and number 8 in my opinion. But I think it makes sense to do at least one player for one number. I think that kind of makes sense. Kobe Bryant, we don't need to go over Kobe. We all know Kobe. We all love Kobe. Number 7, we actually have Carmelo Anthony. Wow, I didn't know I'd seen him on the list, actually. There's also Jermaine O'Neal, Lamar Odom, Kawhi, Kyle Lowry, Brandon Roy. I don't know why they mentioned in his name. That's pretty funny. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, Melo, he's a very recent player, so I don't really need to go into a lot of detail, but again, like Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players of all time, maybe top 50 of all time, maybe top 25, matters what kind of taste you have for NBA basketball, but prime Melo, that early Knicks, late Denver Nuggets, Melo, that's a gold stone killer. Number 6, wow, yeah, dang. At number 6, we have Bill Russell. So LeBron, at least according to this list, does not even get named on this list. That is crazy. Wow. Honorable mention is Dr. J. Let's see here. It says here, Bill Russell was a 5-time MVP and 11-time All-NBA champion. I don't know why I said All-NBA champion, but people always want to bring up rings when arguing whether MJ or LeBron is the greatest of all time, but Russell has 2 more than the 2 of them combined. I don't know why they're saying that, but I know, in my opinion, I'm putting LeBron here at number 6. No offense to Bill Russell, but again, era of basketball. LeBron playing in the toughest era of basketball, the most skilled era of basketball, and then Bill Russell being a very great player, nonetheless being a GOAT, one of the greatest players of all time. But LeBron James is on a different level. No offense. So my personal opinion, I'm picking LeBron, but Bill Russell, great player. At 5, you have Jason Kidd. Okay, that's not too bad of a number. Very underrated player as well throughout NBA history. Number 4, we have Dolph Schayes. I've never heard of this player before. No offense. There's players like Joe Dumars and Chris Webber on this list as well. Andrew Dantley. Dolph Schayes. I've never heard of this guy before. No offense. Number 3, they have. Oh, no. I am not. No way. They ranked Chris Paul over Dwayne Wade. I love Chris Paul. Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards of all time. But, bro, there are only 2 other better shooting guards in the NBA's history that are better than D-Wade, and that's Michael Jordan, the GOAT, and Kobe Bryant, the only player to match Michael Jordan. And then it goes Dwayne Wade. That's not okay. I'm picking D-Wade over Chris Paul. Love Chris Paul. Taking D-Wade over Chris Paul. Like, prime D-Wade is just, oh my god, like, look up some D-Wade stats. Like, prime D-Wade is just a crazy player for sure. Number two, we have Moses Malone. I do agree with that. They also have Kawhi landed here at number 2, which, when everything's all said and done for Kawhi, that can be very much argued, but Moses Malone, also very underrated player in NBA history. He is a 3-time MVP. So 2 of his 3 MVP seasons came in number 24, but we're only considering him for number 2. So I guess that kind of makes sense. At his 7-year peak, 1978 through 1985, Malone averaged 26 points per game and 15 rebounds. Oh my god. That is just, and Moses Malone, again, it's just a very underrated player. At number 1, they have Tracy Mcgrady at number 1. Players who've worn number 1. Man, that's tough. I don't even know. Number 1 is such like an obvious number to pick, but they have T-Mac, and then they have Penny Hardaway, Amari Stoudemire, John Chauncey Billups, Derrick Rose, Muggsy Bogues, Zion Williamson is also, I guess, up for debate if it years and years down the line he may take the cake. But again, just like with Grant Hill, like Tracy Mcgrady without the injuries, could have went down as one of the greatest players of all time, especially with more help, better teams around him that he played with, especially like in the Orlando Magic days, Houston Rocket days. Definitely would have helped out a lot in his career if he would have had a little bit of health. And then at 0 slash, I don't like how they did slash 00, but at 0 slash 00 is how they ranked it. We have Russell Westbrook. I think I would do 00, and I'd probably put Robert Parrish at 00. Definitely a great player, Robert Parrish, for sure. But Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double, MVP, great player. Went to the finals with that loaded Thunder team for sure. I definitely agree with Russell Westbrook. Is he actually the greatest player at number 0? I think he probably is, actually, yeah. Damian Lillard, great player in himself, great scorer, great all-around game. Gilbert Arenas, Agent 0 himself, great player. And then Robert Parrish at 00. I think makes a lot of sense. So with that being said, that's going to be it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this sort of countdown video, I guess you could say. But I thought it'd be fun to sort of recreate this style of video. And hopefully you guys had some fun and enjoyed it. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you again